Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th day of the second virtual master seminar. Welcome, thank you for being here, and I've got something very, very special for you today. Stephanie Frank is someone I've known of before I ever met her, and just through her knowing what she knows and teaching what she teaches, I'm aware of the personal development world, and I see her as one of the true greats. What Stephanie is going to give you are the 13 vital traits of super effective achievers. Now, these are things that I'm personally working on right now. The things that I'm doing wrong in my personal life / business that are costing me money. So this presentation is really important to me. But what I want to tell you is a little bit about why Stephanie is worth paying attention to. I never even thought of asking Stephanie to speak here. But Stephanie saw me just talking to people about the virtual seminar and how we were doing something kind of cool, and immediately contacted me, and immediately offered to speak to you guys, my audience. And that just floored me, because being that I knew who she was already ultra successful and everything else, I'm used to having to go to those type of people and ask politely or even beg in certain circumstances. It was really cool to me that she came to me and offered to present her knowledge to you guys. So it's a big deal to me that Stephanie's even here. And Stephanie, I truly appreciate you, and I'm very thankful that you would be a part of this for me and for my people. So without further ado, I will step out of this lovely lady's way and be ready to be wowed, guys.
Oh, wow. All right, can everybody hear me okay? Excellent, fantastic. Ross, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. You know, you are doing something here that's so wonderful, and I'm so excited to be a part of it, because there are things in this world that need some changing. I'm sure you'll agree. And you can just make the chat go down a little bit. You don't have to actually remove the whole thing. And oh, good, we got a little crowd over at Eric's house. That's good. So I'm coming to you today from my living room, because it's a little too early for me to actually go into the office today. And I am so proud to be here and to share with you some of the vital traits of super achievers. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in our lives that can take us off track. And so I'm going to share with you today the things that I've personally learned, that I've done, and that I've experienced, and that I live every day of my life in my 20 plus years of business. So let's take a look at what's going on actually in the world today. You know, the divorce rate is 58%. Bankruptcy and foreclosures at an all-time high. I don't have to tell you guys that things are happening that are not so good. Depression is projected to be the #2 killer by 2020, depression. Professionals estimate that 40% of people have an addiction problem. And of course, we're working way, way harder than we need to. But here's a statistic that I thought was kind of interesting, and that is that America actually is the consumer of 60% of all the illegal drugs in the world. And the major reason that I want to share with you all of these statistics is because when you have depression, when you have divorce, when you have bankruptcy, when you have challenges, what happens is your productivity goes down. And Gallup did a poll, and they determined that in U.S. companies, lack of productivity, or basically distractions caused by just life events, actually cost U.S. companies $300 billion, that's with a B, $300 billion annually. So that's a lot of money. And when you consider what that's costing you in your business, to have distractions, to be depressed, to have money issues, that productivity, of course, it's a horrible cycle. And the thing is, you should be living happy. You should be able to go. This is me I was in Costa Rica a couple years ago. My dad lived there actually for 22 years. And I was going down there. He had passed on, and we were going there actually to do kind of a family, like a funeral actually, and a wonderful ceremony to kind of send him off and send him on his way to whatever's next for him. And he was a man that lived full in his life. And I went down there and I thought, I'm going to touch a wild monkey, and everybody thought I was crazy. And there it is, there's the proof. I was out on Tortuga Island, Isla Tortuga, for anybody who's ever been there. And out of nowhere, I was just hanging out, and this little monkey came and just jumped into my arms. The challenge with this, of course, is that he wouldn't let go. And by the time I finally got him to let go, he bit me in the arm, but we had a nice little experience. So, I want for you to be able to have those kinds of experiences. This is me. I got to fly in the cockpit of a little tiny Cessna plane in Vancouver, and we were going actually over to Victoria Island, and I got to be the co-pilot. But, when you have success in your life, when you have hang on, I'm trying to get my cursor to the right place. When you have the things in your life, when you're in control of your life, you get to do all kinds of things, whether that's, in my case, I want to share the message and I want to help more people. There I'm at Big Seminar and at some other seminars. But you also want to have fun, play with your dogs. In my case, I love dogs. I'm sure a lot of you guys have hobbies or things that you love as well. And my question to you is, how much time do you actually get to do those things that you love? That's my little dog Molly over there on the left, and my goofy dog Chiquillo. He's the love bug in the family. He's, as you can see, his only purpose in life is to throw his arms around you and just give you love. So when you find success too, for you it might mean material things. That's not so much for me, but it might mean it for you. I've been in Entrepreneur Magazine, I've been in Fox and Friends, there I am getting ready to go on Neil Cavuto's TV show, all not because I'm trying to be successful, but because I want to share the message of productivity, help people to become that which they can so be, even through the challenges of life. I was in the movie Pass It On as well with Michael Beckwith and a bunch of other people, which was a really phenomenal event. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that success can bring. And I remember, and it's funny because the more open you are to it, I want to just reference a minute Ross's comment when he said, I contacted him and said, come on, can I speak? The more open you are to receiving that success in your life, the more you're going to receive it. This is a picture of me with Mark Victor Hansen and Bob Allen. And, I remember there was a time when I was just starry-eyed. I wanted to meet these people who, I had their books on my shelf, and I thought, oh my gosh, they'll never talk to me. And I met Mark, actually, in an elevator. And, I just want to take you to a moment when you have a time where something, all the stars align and something happens that you really, really wanted to happen. There are two ways that it can go. In the case of the elevator, if you were to meet your idol in an elevator, what would you do? Would you sit down and would you open up and start talking? Or would you kind of shrink back and say, hi, I'm happy to meet you? Or would you say nothing and watch that person walk away? Because I'm going to share with you a lot of traits of achievers, but one of them, of course, is taking action. A major one is taking action. That's actually how I met Mark, is he walked into an elevator. We happened to be at a hotel in the same place. And I reached over and I shook his hand, and we just started chatting. And today, he's on my cell phone. So, taking action toward what you want is really, really important. And that's exactly what I did with Ross, is I took action toward being able to come in and talk to you all today. So I want to just ask you something really quick about success, because I'm going to share with you a lot of success busters, things that just flat aren't true, that yet we've been taught and we've been programmed to experience and to live. So I want to ask you, first of all, if there were one thing that you would most like in life for your loved ones or for your children, what is it? Just type it in down there. What is it? What's the one thing that you'd like most in life for your loved ones, for yourself, or for your children? Anybody got a suggestion on that? Freedom to live. Excellent, excellent. Freedom, of course, of course. Peace of mind. That's a good one. Ability to provide a financially safe, secure future. Good. Good health. Excellent. Excellent. Cash. Very good. Okay, so look at all the things that you'd like most in life. Now, what did you learn in school? Go ahead and type it in there. Oreos for everyone. What did you learn in school, guys? The basics, right? Who's typing in there? Let me see what you got to say. What did you learn in school? Not how to live life. That's right. You learned things like math, like reading, science, things like this. You never, ever were taught in school how to be happy, how to be productive, or how to be effective in your life. You were taught the basics of mechanics of survival. Yeah, how to be an employee and work for the machine, exactly. So the very thing that you want, which is to be happy, well, there we go, is the thing that you aren't able to get from school. So happiness, actually, that you want is literally sabotaged by the things that you're learning. So speaking of sabotage, let's look at that. So if you're not where you want to be right now in your life or financially or in your relationships, let's look at this. First of all, what kind of thoughts are running around in your head? Are you thinking, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so frustrated, blah, 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 blah. I'm broke, I'm worried, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Are these the kinds of thoughts that are running around in your head? Is it possible that you wake up every single night, you can't sleep because you have so much to do and all those niggly little thoughts going through your head? You don't get quality time anymore with your family or your friends, or if you are with your family and your friends and you're spending time there, you're thinking about what's left to do at work or what you have to do next or something else. Have I been peaking? I used to live this life. I don't live this life anymore. So I'm very, very familiar with this lifestyle. So you don't get that quality time. But here's the thing. The number one thing that you don't know about is the line. Now, I want to talk to you about the line today because nobody's talking about the line. Now, what is the line exactly? Well, the line is something that occurs as you progress in life. There are many, many lines. And I'll use financial numbers, but it happens in relationships. It happens in a lot of different ways, but it's easiest to explain with the line in numbers. So when we look at the line, oops, Ross, I got a little problem with my, what do I need to do for slides that have multiple progressions? Ross is here or not? Ah, there he is. Okay. Hang on, guys, because I really want to show you some of these pictures. Yeah, I am doing that, but it's actually moving to the next slide. Yeah, it's moving it all to the next slide and not the progressions. I need the progressions. See, it's just going. It's just showing the top. It isn't supposed to do that. Never did that before. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm really going to need these to illustrate my point. Well, that one worked. Looks like some of them are working and some aren't. Well, I'll describe it here. Let's just keep going. Okay, so what's the line? Well, if you would have seen the picture here, what you would have seen is an arrow that basically has numbers going across it from left to right. So the first number is 50,000. 50,000 is where the first line is. And what that means is when your income level reaches a level of $50,000, you begin to, you cross your first line. And what happens there is at $49,999, you have to make a decision. And that decision is what are you going to do next to expand? And there's only one answer to that, and that has to be get new skills. Because at the $50,000 level, you now need to go up, of course, to 100,000. When you go up to 100,000, that's not the same as reaching the 50,000 level. You need new skills, you need new talents, you need new ways of getting there, new ways of leveraging, new ways of expanding. So that line happens, and you get to make a decision every single time. I did it at my first million, my second million, my 10th million, and every single time you cross that line, you must make a conscious decision to say, now I need to get the education and the skills and the understanding and the mentoring and to be able to achieve the next level, because you weren't taught these things in school. As we already identified, you were taught to get a job at the $50,000 level and you're done. So that line comes at the 50,000 level, then again at 100 when you make your first six figures. Then it comes again at the $250,000 level when you make your first $250,000 and you start thinking, whoa, I made a $250,000, and those negative thoughts start happening again. What am I going to do next? It comes again at the $500,000 level, and it comes again at the $1 million level. And each way, each time, you must make a conscious choice to move past the line to get those new skills to take you to the next level. There's a reason, that people keep moving forward. That's because they have mentors. I have a billionaire mentor, and I'll tell you, they think differently. They think so differently. And he was telling me recently that he has 3 homes actually. One's here in Phoenix, one is in Switzerland, in Zurich, Switzerland, and the other is in Victoria, Canada. And he said to me the other day, we were talking about dogs, and he said, I really want to get one of those little Havanese dogs, those little white ones with the brown spots. And he was so excited about this dog. And I said, well, gosh, Peter, I don't think that'd be a problem for you to get a dog. So why don't you have one? He said, planes. Planes, really, what's the problem with that? He said, it's a hassle to take a dog on a plane and to get them to, the next destination and so on. He goes, but I think I solved the problem. I bought a Learjet. Now that is billionaire thinking, and he really did. He bought a jet, and now he flies back and forth to his different homes instead of instead of using commercial air. So you've got to think differently each time you cross that line, because as we talked about, you're programmed to fail. Now, I'm pretty famous for saying everything you know about success is the opposite of what you learned in the 6th grade math class. So let's think about that for a minute. Remember 6th grade math? I mean, how many of you went to 6th grade? I'm going to assume it was all of you. So remember in 6th grade, you had the little desk, and you had the little thing that flopped up and down, and you could write little notes, and and you kept all your pencils in the desk. And everybody in the 6th grade math class was programmed with the same failure tactics. Let me tell you what they are. So when you went in, first thing in math class is you'd go up to the board. The teacher would go up to the board, write a problem on the board, a math problem on the board, and say, okay, now, what's the problem? Solve the problem. Focus on the problem. What's the problem? Well, what are you taught to focus on? Well, you're taught to focus on the problem. Now, the second thing that they teach you is do it by yourself. Now, remember when you had to take a test, all right? So, they hand out the quiz, they hand out the papers, and they say, okay, now, everybody look only at your paper. I don't know about you, but nobody in my math class ever tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, Stephanie, if you don't really understand the answers to the questions, just, talk to your neighbor and mastermind a little bit. That was never the case. That's called cheating. The third thing, and this is one of my major pet peeves, is there's only one right answer. So you turn in your test, the teacher would grade it, and the teacher would grade it by their standards. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a pretty creative thinker, and I bet most of you are as well. And when it came to math problems, there were often times where I would get the solution right, but I couldn't necessarily backtrack and say how I got the problem solved. It just came kind of naturally and easily for me. And so what would happen is, because I couldn't always describe exactly how I did it, the teacher would mark it wrong. And so I would get these bad grades, not because I didn't get the answers right, but because I didn't get the process right. And that, of course, has launched an entire career on process and systems for me. So the truth is, instead of focusing on the problem, you must focus on the solution. Successful people only focus on the solution. So if you're having financial challenges right now, if you need $10,000 for something, an unsuccessful person is going to focus on the problem and say, I need 10,000, I need 10,000, I need 10,000. A successful person, a success-minded person is going to say, I need to focus on how to make 20,000, because when I make 20,000, I'll be able to pay the 10,000 plus I'll have 10,000 more. Now, if you ask for help, you're normal. So doing it by yourself is not the way to do anything. Yet that's one of the hardest things, is to ask for that help. But when you do ask, you do receive. And as I said before, there's only one answer. No, there are many, many possibilities to get to a certain path. It's just what happens is, when we're looking for one answer only, we only see one path. But when we focus on the end point of what we really want, multiple ways to get there begin to appear. My slides are doing some weird stuff, so just bear with me. Okay, so let's take a look at what some of the performance blockers are that actually sink your success IQ. Now, success IQ is just simply nothing more than the ability to be a certain way, to act a certain way, and to relate a certain way. Now, I have a graphic over here that's not showing up on the side, but when you are being a successful person, you're happy. When you're acting in a successful way, you're productive. And when you are relating in a certain way, you are effective in your communication. And that's the entire process of raising your success IQ, which is what we do. It's helping you raise your success IQ so you can become happier in your life, more productive in your tasks, and more effective in your relationships. Now, this all started because I was actually kind of frustrated with some of the success principles out there and some of the success-minded kinds of things out there. You know, there's a 700-page book out there on success principles. And I'm friends with the people that wrote that big, huge book. And I remember getting the Success Principles book and reading through it, and there were 64 principles in there. And I remember thinking, you know what? If all these success principles work, and it works in this order, then why isn't everybody rich, thin, and happy? That was my line of thinking. And I thought, you know, and Success IQ actually started with a conversation that I had with Harv Eker. And the conversation was about mindset. And of course, you know, if you know Harv Eker, you've done anything with him, you know that he wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and he endorsed my book, The Accidental Millionaire, when it came out. And so we were talking about it, and he said to me, you know, well, mindset is the first thing, and you've got to get your mindset straight. And I said, you know something? I don't agree, because here's why. I started my first business when I was 19 years old, and I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about success. I didn't know anything about mindset. If I would have known those things and somebody came along when I was 19 years old, needing money, having to figure out how to run my business, and said, well, the first thing you need to do is get your mindset straight. I said to Harv, I would still be sitting on the couch trying to get my mindset straight. And I wouldn't have made $1. And so that's what started Success IQ. And today we have written the world's first Success IQ test. And you're welcome to go take it. It's designed to help with to help create a custom curriculum, because maybe you just need to get into action. Maybe you need to set up some goals. Maybe you need better time management. Maybe you need some mindset and some success energy principles. But whatever it is that you need, it's unique for you, and it's not up to me, and I can't tell you what success means to you. And so the Success IQ test, you can get that. Somebody said my mindset was there already, that's why I didn't need it. Yeah, no. Dealing with things is it's a constant process, and now that I've kind of reverse engineered a lot of these processes, and I know how to focus on solutions instead of on problems, it's still a constant everyday occurrence to control my mind and make sure that I don't give in to things like fear, anger, anxiety, resentment, no negative emotion. So thank you for that. All right. Now, you've heard me talk a little bit about systems, and I do apologize that I'm having trouble with the screen here. Let's just talk about systems for a moment. If you were, I can't get the picture up for some reason. So when you consider systems, think about like a Venn diagram. If you've never seen that Venn diagram, it's like interlocking circles that all come together, that all interlock in a certain way. Now, your life is a series of systems, whether you realize it or not. You know, you deal with systems just even getting up in the morning. I mean, think about it. The first thing you do when you get up is, well, probably go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, take a shower, get dressed, go eat breakfast, take the kids to school. Whatever it is that's your morning routine, that's a system, and you do that completely unconsciously. But think about it for a minute. If you were to get up, go have breakfast, take the kids to school, brush your teeth, and then go to the bathroom, might not work so well. You'd end up with no clothes in the car taking the kids to school. So your life is truly a series of systems, and we're going to talk about some of those systems as we keep moving through here. Now, let's talk about, I want to share with you the 13 traits of superachievers, and then I'm going to share with you why you're not exactly where you want to be and how to get there in a more purposeful, a more profitable way. So the first thing, the first trait of superachievers is that superachievers are purposeful. And I want you to, as I'm going through these 13 traits, kind of mentally or even on a piece of paper if you want, just rate yourself. Where are you with this on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst, not very purposeful, 10 being totally and completely clear and on purpose. Okay, good, good. So superachievers are extremely purposeful. They know exactly who they are, they know what's important to them, and they know how, not necessarily how they're going to get somewhere, but they know what they want to accomplish. Superachievers are energetic. They take care of themselves in 2 ways. In several ways. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they nurture themselves for energy. Superachievers are not brought down by the demands of other people. They're not brought down by their own physical challenges in their body. Matter of fact, my billionaire mentor, Peter, his name is Peter, he sent me an email the other day, and he's always traveling the world and going somewhere. He sent me this email of him, by the way, he's 71 years old, riding a zip line in Costa Rica, and the joy on this man's face was just palpable. It was so great. So energetic is another trait of superachievers. Passionate. Now this is a big one. Passionate is not about a specific thing, but it is about whether you are doing the things that are really achieving your purpose. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about the day-to-day activities. I can help you get rid of all that stuff and all that stuff that drains you. I'm talking about when you wake up in the morning, how passionate and excited are you about getting out your message, about running your business, about taking care of things that you need to do? How passionate are you? Scale of 1 to 10. Number 4 is imaginative. This kind of goes to the solution-oriented thinking that we were talking about before. You can imagine new ways, new solutions to problems. So superachievers are extremely imaginative and extremely creative. Competent is another big one. Superachievers, now this doesn't mean that you're competent all the time in all the skills that you're ever going to do. Remember, we're all growing. And every time you grow, you have to learn new things, new ways, and remember that line, right? So what we're talking about in competence is how competent are you at the level at which you are? Because when you choose to cross that line, you're going to start over again, and your only competency at that point needs to be learning and understanding and shortcutting. In my case, I like to shortcut success. So when you get to that 50,000 line and you want to cross to the 100,000 line, or you want to cross to the $1 million line, or I have clients that are crossing the $50 million line. Whatever that is for you, you've got to be competent, and every time you step up to the next line, you must be competent and confident in your needs of education and learning the new skills. Motivated. Now, superachievers are motivated internally. You know, you can't really motivate someone else. I'm sure you guys already know that, right? It's real hard. It's like pushing a rock up a mountain to try to motivate someone else. Motivation comes internally. So your internal motivation, why are you doing what you're doing, is a big question that you've got to ask yourself. Now, efficiency, efficient. Superachievers are extremely efficient. And when you're doing a project, when you're doing something, when you're trying to achieve something, the chances of you actually having success with that program are directly related to your level of efficiency in time, your level of efficiency in task, and how well you are aligned with the things that you're doing. So one of the best articles that I ever wrote was called, I can't remember the name of it actually, but I can totally remember the first sentence. And that first sentence was, I sat on the floor amongst a pile of papers and cried. And the article goes on to talk about how I was working so hard to try to do filing. You know, I'm sure all of you, woohoo, filing, you know. But I was working so hard to try to do filing. And I thought at the time that, you know, it's a simple task. I mean, anybody should be able to do it. So why am I having such a challenge with this filing? And I did pretty much what any girl would do in that situation. I called Mom, and I said, Mom, why am I having such a challenge? I feel stupid because I can't get this thing done. And she said to me, Stephanie, why are you even trying to do that? That is not your strength. It's not your skill. How long have you been sitting there? I said, I've been trying to set the system up all afternoon. She said, well, you could have been out doing training or doing teaching or calling people or making money or selling or whatever it is. You could have been doing a host of other things, and you're sitting here doing filing? I'll come over and do it. She had the filing system done in less than an hour. And that was my first experience with understanding how efficiency works. And I was amazed that someone with skills like that could get something done so quickly with all my creativity and brilliance and smarts and so on that I couldn't get it done. And it was a big eye-opener in learning what to do and what not to do. Productive is the next piece. Productive. Superachievers are producing money, they're producing talent, they're producing time, they're producing energy, they're constantly producing. You know, I'm in a personal situation. I wasn't really going to talk about this, but since we're all kind of friends here, I'll go ahead and do it. There's a lot going on in my life right now, and I know there's a lot going on in your life as well. I'm having some personal challenges. I've got a sick mom. I just had a relationship status change, family constantly in and out. So, you know, a lot of possible distractions going on in my life, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. And the thing is, through it all, and this is what I really want you to get, the thing is, through it all, what's happening is people are seeing things in two different ways. My mother's at a stage where she's basically in the ER, in the emergency room, about every 2 weeks right now. So it's a matter of the life changes that happen are, you know, you sit down, you make a plan, and then whoop, your life goes to the left. And I've got certain family members who are saying, oh my gosh, this must be so hard for you. It must be so challenging. It must be so. And for me, it has been the greatest gift because it has actually helped me to become more productive. You know, it's kind of like, you know how you get a whole lot done right before you have to go on vacation because you know that you've got this shortened amount of time. So this is truly the key. You've heard also that, you know, if you want something done, give it to a busy person because time becomes a major piece and a major component of productivity. So during this whole thing, I have produced 13 home study courses. I've done an entire online training course for Success IQ. We did the Success IQ test, the quiz. We've created a ton of things. I could go on and on and on. But the key is, that's not what I want you to know. I want you to know that productive means being in the moment. And this is the only moment that you can be in. So worrying about what's going to happen in the future or regretting what's happened in the past is completely not helping you. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox and keep moving here. Authentic. Well, superachievers are authentic. They don't lie about failures. They don't cover things up. They don't dwell on it. They're authentic. Oh, that worked. That didn't work. Very flexible. Now, going back to what I was just talking about, flexibility is key because life and your business, it doesn't go the way that you want it to go. And the key to flexibility, too, it's kind of interesting, is as you're looking at things, you know, and you're saying, oh, why did that happen? That wasn't supposed to happen. A lot of times, the thing that happens that's the big obstacle in your way is the thing that's the lesson that you needed to learn the most. And I know with this thing with my mom, the lesson that I've learned the most is this, and living, absolutely living, being in the moment. Because there's no other place to be. And when she first got sick, I was in this place of, okay, if this happens, then we do this, and if that happens, then we do that. And those plans would go out the window. And so now I just wait and see what's next. Flexibility is key. And wherever you are in your business, wherever you are in your life right now, the more flexible you can be, the more success you're going to have. Collaborative. Super achievers don't do it alone. There is no such thing, you guys, as a self-made millionaire. There's no such thing. Because even a self-made millionaire needs clients. That's collaboration right there. So the more people you can work with, partner with, ask for help. We're doing a huge project right now, and it's so easy to reach out and fun and joyous to reach out and say, hey, let's help more people. Let's collaborate. Let's move some energy in the world. Right? So collaborative. Don't try to do it all by yourself. And superachievers are inspiring. Now, they're inspiring not because of who they are or what they've accomplished or what they've achieved. Okay, so I don't want you to think about, this is not about putting people on a pedestal. This is about you being inspiring to others. And how are you inspiring to others is by going all the way back to number one and considering the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Why? Whatever your business is, why are you doing it? Because when you start thinking about how you're helping people, what the benefit is for the other people, you become inspiring. It's not because of who you are, it's because of who you help. Okay, so these are the 12 vital traits of superachievers. Let me give you the bonus 13th. Superachievers are happy no matter what. Marcy Shimoff did a great book called Happy for No Reason. The thing is, happiness is a choice, and you get to choose in every moment, in every second. Oh, how happy are you going to be? I mean, come on. What's the point of wallowing around, being frustrated and depressed? It's going to kill you anyway. Why worry about it? Life happens. I sent out a tweet yesterday about what the heck did I say? Life is what happens to you when you're busy making plans. Forget it. Just come be here right now with me in this moment, and you can be totally and completely happy when you clear your mind of every other thought going out. Listen to the sound of my voice and trust in and connect in with your own inner happiness. That giggly little kid that's having so much fun without you. Bring them back. That's how you can live your life every day if you choose. That's not to say that stuff isn't going to happen and that you're going to have emotional ups and downs. That's true. But you don't have to ride those emotions. This is the part about controlling your brain that I mentioned before, but we'll get into that a little bit more. Yes, it is interesting how few of these traits are taught or developed in formal education. Thank you, Rhonda. I have a mission to bring a lot of this material into the schools. Now, for those of you who've never met me, I know I've been talking for quite a while here, but I just want to share a little bit of background so that you understand certain things. My background, actually, I came out of the IT world, and basically, well, I guess the best way to describe it is I used to be a hacker. Now, the way to say it, but I was in something called protocol analysis, and I used to travel all around the world solving computer problems. And I was kind of like, that movie Top Gun, where there's the scene in the bar where the girl, they're serenading the girl in the bar, and then the next day she's got like, I don't know, G7000 clearance or whatever, and she's their teacher. Well, that was kind of my life. So when I say I was in IT and I was a hacker, basically I taught the Microsoft, the Novell, and the Cisco engineers how to reverse engineer their software and look at it on the TCP/IP level. Okay, that's way too geeky for most of you, and some of you are going to go, oh my God, I want to talk to her about IT, but let's move on. So I was paid to go around the world as kind of a person of last resort who could come in and solve problems. So I remember where systems really became important for me is I was in a Swiss bank in Zurich, actually, and I was there with two other women, and we were called in. We were the 17th group called in to fix this problem that was costing a bank. It was a Swiss bank. Yes, I've been in a Swiss bank with my hacker tools. But it was costing them $1 million a minute in order to, they were because of the software problem. And so they called us in and they said, okay, you guys are the last resort. This has to be solved right now. We've heard of you. We were the only 3 women that did this kind of thing. So we've heard of you. You guys have to work together, solve this problem. Oh, and by the way, you have 30 minutes to do it. And it was in that day that I realized how important systems for not just success were, but in this case, computer troubleshooting. So I started looking at all the patterns that were happening in the computer and frankly started to get a little bored and decided to take my career from troubleshooting computer behavior to troubleshooting human behavior. And that's how this all started. So today I'm a member of the Positive Psychology Association. I'm an NLP master and hypnotherapist, and I work with organizations, and I work with, well, actually 3 different kinds of people. I work with solo entrepreneurs who have fast-growing companies. I work with network marketing leaders who have big groups that they don't know how to manage. And I work with companies in the 50 to 250 employee range. So we work across the board with people to help them develop systems for productivity, for effectiveness, and for their success. So that's just a little bit about the background and why I'm so hot on systems. Because you guys, everything's a system. Relationships are a system. Communication is a system. Leadership is a system. And troubleshooting humans is much more rewarding than troubleshooting computers. Yes, actually, it is much more rewarding, and until the human decides to like reboot and and start over. But that's okay. We got a system to fix that too. So before I start telling you about some of the things that are blocking your success, I want to find out what's wrong. Where are you really having your challenges? And so here's what I want to do. What I want you to do is, I think we'll have to kind of mentally do this, but if I were doing a live event, I would have everybody stand up. So if you want, go ahead and stand up right now. Just stand up. It's a good time to do that anyway. All right. So before I tell you what's happening, let's figure out what's wrong. Now, number one, if you do not know exactly, I mean to the minute and to the penny and to the, if you don't know what it feels like, what it sounds like, what it smells like, exactly what you want for the future, sit down. Hey, did I lose anybody that you'll admit? Number two, if you do not go to bed every single night and say, yes, I got to the bottom of my to-do list, I want you to sit down. Okay, if you do not spend a week or more in vacation time, at least 3 times a year. Now, let me explain vacation. What I'm talking about is no computers, no stuff on your hip, no calling back to the office. Yes, there is a bottom of your to-do list, and you should be getting to it every day, guys. If you don't spend a week or more on vacation without all those gadgets and worrying about what's going on back at work or back at the office, please sit down. Oh, my goodness. You guys need help. What is a vacation? All right, Eric's getting it. There we go. Now, last one. If you do not work only on the things that you love, I mean the 3 top things that you love to do, and you have no team to do the rest. In other words, if you're sitting on the floor trying to do the filing and the accounting and the bookkeeping, all of those things, go sit down. Okay. Eric's going to go to the Cayman Islands on his vacation to go research the benefits of rum. Love that. Okay. All right, so now you're figuring out kind of what's wrong. Let's talk about some of the performance blockers that actually sink your success IQ. Success blocker number 1 is not knowing what you want. I mean specifically, getting specific for massive results. I don't know why they don't teach these things in school. However, it's a principle that basically when you don't know what you want, this is what your life looks like, okay? Going back and forth and back and forth. Oh, yeah, but you've heard the old joke where the cop pulls over a person and says, you know, did you know you're going the wrong way on a one-way street? And he says, well, I'm only going one way. That's kind of how your life can be, is going the wrong way on a one-way street. Now, if you don't know exactly what you want, you do this so naturally as I talked about systems before, you get up and that's a natural system. You do this so naturally in certain aspects of your life, but not in your business life. And so knowing what you want, for example, I mean, what's the first thing you say when you're hungry? Well, what's for dinner, right? What's for dinner? You don't go to the refrigerator and go, how exactly should we make dinner tonight? Yet that's exactly what happens, is we start off, it's like we get on our bicycle and we start riding all over the place, but we don't know where we're going. And that usually ends up in having some really, really backwards results. Now, when you get these kinds of backwards results, when you don't know exactly what you want, what happens is, and if you've ever experienced this, where you blame other people, this didn't go right or that didn't go right. We just got an email recently from somebody. It was interesting. They bought one of our the Success IQ formula, and he emailed us and he said, I'm so disappointed. I thought this was the opportunity for me, and like usual, nothing works, and I'm sure you didn't mean to deceive me, and all this real blame. And I wrote him back, and I said, well, let me ask you a question. You said you're looking for an opportunity. Specifically, what is it you're trying to accomplish by buying up all this stuff that you're buying up? And he said, and I was pretty blunt. And I said, the thing is you have information in here that is time-tested, that has changed lives. We've used it to grow companies by 400%. We've used it to raise sales by 40% in one day. And we've used it to help people become happier, more productive, and effective all around the world what is it you're looking for? And he wrote me back and he said, oh my gosh. I figured for sure he'd be mad. But he wrote me back and he said, thank you so much. I never thought about that. He said, I'm stuck. I never considered what I actually want so that I could start to create the plan to get there. What you want is so much more important than how to get there. So if you're doing anything in your life right now and you're saying, I don't know how, you're asking the wrong questions. How do I do it is not the right question. Successful people say, what do I want? And then they go and find the way. Remember that line, needing the new skills and new education to go get the how. Okay, so what specifically do you want? Everything's a system. So I want a system that will help me increase my revenue by $10,000 a month, help me get to $1 million, that will help me have better relationships, that'll help me live my life and take a vacation. So you've got to get specific. What is it specifically that you're looking for? Now, if it's a money goal, that's easy. You want a system that will make you money. Great. Well, you want a system that will reduce your stress. Good. Let's talk about some of those things. So when you get specific, here are just some possibilities. Examples might be your monthly income is a goal, or your monthly expenses, or a percentage of reduction of expenses, or a decrease in, or increase or decrease in not a decrease in savings, sorry, an increase in savings. Maybe your wants or desires are personal. Now, this is actually, I really prefer that you go for your personal goals rather than your financial goals, and here's why. Your business is there to serve you. Your business is there to serve you. So while financial goals are extremely important, how you're going to create that business, in my opinion, is even more important. So reaching $1 million and dropping over dead is not the way you want to do it. So I run everything by what do I want? Number of days off, how much am I going to exercise, dates with my spouse, different kinds of personal things first. How many days a week do you want to work? How many hours a day do you want to work? Those are the kinds of things that I like to set up first. And then there are business goals, or business examples as well. Number of people, number of people on your list, number of new prospects, new clients, things like that. Very, very measurable. Okay, success blocker number 2. When you get overwhelmed, you get stuck. And I have a lot of personal experience with this, having been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder at age 35. And promptly throwing the chains of that diagnosis off of me. It felt like when the doctor said, you have ADD, and they called it a disorder, and I thought, okay, I just sold my $10 million business, and you're telling me that I'm disabled? Excuse me? I don't think so. So I immediately threw that off, and in The Accidental Millionaire, which is the book that I wrote a couple years ago, there was a runaway chapter called You're Not Crazy, You're an Entrepreneur. And it was all about living in that mind, that creative mind. It's an entrepreneurial mindset. You don't have ADD. You've got information overload. You've got stuff going on constantly. And the thing is when you're a creative entrepreneur, which that's what an entrepreneur is, you see things as an interconnected web. So when you see things as an interconnected web, it can become very, very difficult unless you have the tools and systems and process to, I call it landing the plane, to be able to work on one thing at a time. So what happens, of course, is you begin to get overwhelmed and stuck. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work here. Let's see. Because, as I said, we live in this ADD society. So you're on information overload, first of all. If you haven't gone on an unsubscribe binge lately, I suggest you need to do that. Cut down on your emails, your tweets, your all this stuff. It's contributing to your overwhelm. So we live in this information overload society. But as we get moving, we need to be able to get more done in your business and your life. Now, I'm going to move through these slides here because they are not working. But basically, as we look at all the things going on, you've got your business, first of all. Your business needs you to do the financial, it needs you to do the marketing, you've got to do the sales, you've got to do the administrative, you've got to do the prospecting, you have to do all of the production and the promotion, and your business needs you to do all these different things. So, here we go. Here's some of it. Okay, for some reason, Ross, still the pictures aren't coming through, but the text is, so we're good. So your business has you tied up in knots doing all these different things, production, maintenance, as I said before, all those issues that you have to get up and handle. Your life then, of course, you've got all kinds of things going on in your life, whether it's spiritual, whether it's relationships. Your life needs you to deal with your family, your relationships with your spouse, your children. You've got friends. Well, hopefully you have friends. Remember those? You've got phone calls, spending time, maybe hopefully going trips. Maybe you want to do some spiritual, some charitable work, going to church or meditate, volunteer work, household, cooking meals, clean the toilets. Whew, there's so much that has to happen. Oh, hopefully you have some personal interests, maybe even a hobby or two. And sleep, what the heck is that? So your life is hugely, hugely taken up by all of the things that are demanded of you in your business and in your life. So what do? Well, you've already got your life going like crazy, so you go off and you get more stuff and you get more information and you buy more things and you try more things and you collect and collect and collect and collect and you get more and more and more until you're absolutely exhausted. That's the overwhelm. And then, all right, so what I want you to do for a moment here, for anybody who's starting to feel that, is just breathe. Take a moment and stop. Good. And breathe. Because there is a systematic way to be successful. You're learning it as we go along. Getting out of overwhelm is a simple to begin with. There is a system to get it all out of your head and stop and breathe. Now I call this cutting through the crap. The only thing you can do is cut through the crap and get more done with less stress. So what is crap? Well, crap is basically four things. Confusion. How many of you are feeling a little, you're feeling confused about what to do next or how to deal with this economy or how to make more money, so you're confused. So this is where the overwhelm starts. As soon as you start asking the question, how do I, you put yourself into overwhelm and confusion. The question is not how do I do it. The question is what do I want? Specifically, what do I want? And there are only two steps to starting forward movement, getting yourself out of overwhelm and getting into action. Step number one is what I just said. What do you want specifically? Step number two is ask for help. So, for example, we just started a new Shortcut Success Achievers Club. And I want 200 people in that club, because 200 people moving the energy in this world, reaching their goals, achieving their goals, and having forward momentum is going to make a huge difference on this planet. So when I said, I want 200 people, now the question said, okay, how do I get there? And I did step number two, go ask for help. That's it. That's it. You're right. Asking the right questions leads to the right answers. It's a huge success principle. If you're not getting the results you want, you need to ask different questions. Who do I need to be is a good question to get the results that I want, to make the money that I want, to get more clients. Who do I need to be? What do I need to do, or what do I need to stop doing? That's a really good one in order to get into action and get moving myself forward. All right, resistance is the next one. Successful people never resist. One of the things I love about Mark Victor Hansen, he's a yes man. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but he never sits back when a new opportunity is presented to him. He doesn't consider resisting or making an excuse about why it won't work. What he does is he listens fully. He experiences the opportunity, and then he uses his criteria to determine whether he's going to work the opportunity or not. But he never makes excuses about why something won't work before he ever listens to the whole thing. I love that about him. Apathy. I'll do it tomorrow. Or being stuck and being apathetic and looking at your email and so on. That's apathy that will kill your success. Procrastination is rampant in this world. Procrastination simply occurs because you're overwhelmed, because you don't know what you want, or because you do have to do a lot of things that you hate doing. So what's your crap? Let's find out. First thing that people say that's going through their mind is, I can't do it because I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I'm confused about something in my situation, I don't deserve it, I don't deserve to be successful. I don't deserve it. You may not be thinking that consciously. I don't think I can do it. Oh, there's a nice excuse. I'm not, and I love this one, I'm not good enough, smart enough, tall enough, short enough. I don't have the right color hair. I don't have the right education. I don't have enough money, time, energy, education. Blech. These are all crap, you guys. It's all excuses. Nothing but excuses. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, or fill in your own crap. Now, there's a fun thing that I like to do with this. If you have a piece of paper right now, what I want you to do is I want you to, you're thinking this stuff. You got crap. There's no question. I know you've got it. So I want you to write it down. This is what I do when I'm thinking, okay, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm pissed off, I'm anxious, I'm blah, 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 anything that's negative, or I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid to contact this person because they might reject me, anything like that that's going on in your business or in your life. Write it down on the piece of paper right now. You ready? Okay, good. Now, when you have it written down on the piece of paper, I want you to do this. Crumple that crap up and pitch it. Get rid of that crap. Well, get rid of the crap. You don't need to hang on to that crap. Now, in a live event, this is always really fun, too. I'll just give you a little glimpse, because what somebody always does, some nice person in the crowd will, gather up everybody else's crap and try to take it to the garbage can. Don't take anybody else's crap. Forget that. You got enough of your own. Okay, number 3, can't say no. You've got to get clear on what's draining your energy, guys. Now, let's see if this will, okay, my picture's not working, so let me describe this. When you have energy drain, now I'm talking about the things that are going on. Hey, great, your crap is gone. The things that are going on in your life that are draining your energy that you don't think about. Now, this is what happens with entrepreneurs, with business leaders, with executives. It's rampant in society today, and that is this. We go off and we say yes to so many things, whether it's personal things, whether it's administrative things, things that we shouldn't have said yes to, but we do. So what you can do, or what I want you to do, is again, on that piece of paper, you can draw what's called a mind map. And let me see if I can get it up here. Got pieces of it, but not the, yeah, I don't have the actual mind map. But if you've never seen a mind map, it's basically a circle in the middle of your page. And I want you to just draw that in that circle and say, what's on my plate? And from that circle, all you need to do is draw out lines and say, start with my business. These are big categories. Then my life, my relationships, my community is another one. So big categories first. Then I want you to, off of those lines, write all the things that are going on in your business. What have you said yes to? I've said yes to a partnership. I've said yes to doing the administrative work. I've said yes to doing everything in my business. I've said yes to working 15-hour days. I've said yes to joint venture partnerships. I've said, whatever you said yes to. And then go into your life. What have you said yes to there? You've got family, you've got spouse, you've got kids. Maybe you have, like I do, an aging parent. You've got family dynamics that you're going through. So what all have you said yes to, or are you dealing with right now? And you continue along on that mind map until you have it all written out. Now, this is an exercise that we do in our Quick Start Peak Performance Intensive. And I want to just preview this because I'm going to offer for you to join me in Phoenix to learn how to apply all these principles for peace, happiness, productivity, and effectiveness in your life. And this one exercise I wanted to share with you because it's so powerful to get this stuff out of your head and down onto paper, so that you can, now you notice on the screen I've got little X's and O's there. There should be a mind map on the screen, but there isn't. Now, but let me just give you the rest of the exercise. Because once you've got all this stuff on your plate, down on paper, now we need to take it off your plate. And that's part of what will help you do as we move forward. But the taking things off of your plate is going to come in one of two categories. Either you just say, I've had it with this situation, that's it, or this person in my life. I've had people cross out spouses, all kinds of things. But you say, okay, I'm done with this particular energy drain. You cross it out. Make an X. Now, if you have another type of an energy drain, but it's a situation that maybe you can't change or you just want the situation to be different, put an O around it. If the situation is totally fine just the way it is, then just leave it the way that it is. Now, as you're going through this exercise, it's really interesting because you're going to have some emotion coming up around some of these situations, and your mind is going to go, yeah, well, I'd like to change this, but I can't. Stop that right now. You always have control. You always have power. You always have choice. There's what you don't have, and what you don't have permission to do anymore because you were here today is stay stuck in your crap. That's all crap. So there's always a way to change it. I had a man in one of the quick starts who was having a serious situation with his wife. His wife was dying, and he was really frustrated. He was one of those really analytical types, and he felt like he wasn't getting the information that he needed in order for him to feel comfortable. It wasn't even about his wife, it was him. And so when he put his wife on the mind map, he put a circle around her. And I said, what's going on? And he said, I'm so stressed out by this situation. Can you help me make a plan? And we sat down, and I said, okay, what's wrong? And he shared with me that about the information. He needed more. He wasn't getting. He felt lost. He felt like he couldn't be helpful. And he felt stuck. And I said, well, so what is it that you need? Remember the what. What do you want to have happen here? And he said, I want to be notified. I want to look at the medical records. And I want to do it for myself. I said, great, there's your plan. And it became so simple automatically. He just shifted like this. And the situation now didn't seem so hopeless or desperate. Instead, he was able then to go in, talk to his wife, talk to the doctor, look at the records, and get the success that he wanted. Okay, success blocker number 4, your to-do list is never too done. Okay, guys. This is a huge one. Now, first of all, I want you to think about this for a minute. What exactly is it that you're doing with your time every day? Whoop, sorry. Okay, my picture started coming up. What is it that you're doing with your time every single day? Now, think about this. Every single person on the planet has 86,400 seconds in a day. Yeah. Whether you're a millionaire, a billionaire, a struggling entrepreneur, or you're homeless on the street, we all have the same 86,400 seconds in a day. Now imagine it like this. You wake up in the morning, and there's a big pile of money at the bottom of your bed, $86,400 as a matter of fact, and every second that money starts going away or going into different piles, the productive pile and the unproductive pile. So every second of every day you're spending, that's why they call it spending money. So my question to you is, at the end of the day, where is the money going to go in your pile? Is it going to be going to answering emails, to twittering for hours on end and allowing yourself to get distracted, for surfing the internet, for not really being sure of what you're going to do, for spinning in procrastination and dealing in and being in your crap? Is that the pile you really want to create? Or is it a pile that you want to create that's productive, that's giving you energy, even if your to-do list has to get a little bit shorter in order for you to make it happen? What are the productive things? Because here's the key thing, and I teach this in organizations all over the place, is just because you put it on a list does not mean you have to do it. This is a really important concept. So what most people do is they sit down and they go, okay, what am I going to do today? And they make a list of 37 things in no order, no priority, no nothing, but here's the list. Well, here's the thing, you guys, with the brain tends to put the least important things on the list first. The most important things tend to come out last. So what happens is you sit down to work on your list, and you get to maybe number 2 on your list, and by the end of the day, you get so distracted and you come back and you go, oh, I didn't even get to the most important things. What did I do all day? So the first thing that you must do in order to solve this problem of your to-do list is you must, if you get nothing else out of this, go do this right now. You must set aside focus time, which is uninterrupted, undistracted, uninterrupted time for you to complete the most important tasks on your list. I mean, it is kind of, yeah, you could do your to-do list backwards, but there's still too much on there. It's basic math, you guys. If you put 20 hours of to-dos on your list in a 24-hour time period and give yourself no time to do it, basic math says it'll never get done. So you've got to create the space and time in your calendar in the form of focus time. So if you create an hour of focus time, then you look at your list and you say, what are the most important things that I must do in this focus time? And I'm talking focus, guys. Turn off your telephone, turn off your email, turn off that Twitter, TweetDeck. Give yourself specific times to be doing that. And that is the key component of time. Now, there's some more steps to that I don't have the time to go into, but I want to at least share with you that number one step, because that is the key component that millionaires, billionaires, successful people all around the world do, is they don't try to gather all the information that they can and try to get it all done. They look at and consider and do the most important things. Okay, success blocker number 5. I love this one. It has to be done right. Now, I don't know if this will actually work or not. Some of these others haven't worked. Okay, so when we talk about it has to be done right, there is a key thing that holds people back from hiring other people or working with other people is that they're not going to get it done the way that you get it done. So the thing is that everybody processes information in a different way. Are any of these, Ross, I don't know, do you have any control of this screen that you could like click on this video or no? No? Okay, I don't know if he's there or not. Okay, so the thing is that every single person processes information differently. Now, I want to share with you something that's really kind of interesting about how people process information. We spend and waste so much time being right, trying to make the other person see our point. And there is a scientific reason why that will never occur. Let me share with you what that is. Number one, your brain processes information in a really interesting way. The first thing that it does is it processes as you are, oh, I got that. Let me do this. Okay. Your brain processes 2 million bits per second unconsciously. I mean, your brain is all day long trying to, grow your hair, trying to grow your toenails, reminding you to breathe, building new blood cells, filling up your lungs, watering your eyes. Imagine if you had to think about all that stuff. That's 2 million bits per second that's going through your brain. But the thing that you're conscious of is only 134 bits per second. So out of all those 2 million bits floating all over the place, what you're seeing right now or experiencing right now, what you're hearing right now, feeling right now, all of those things, that's only 134 bits of information. So the thing is how the question that I had, of course, being the geek that I am, is, okay, so if two people are having an experience, like right now, we're all having an experience. We're sitting here at this seminar. What is the probability of two people having exactly the same 134 bits of information understood? Now, this also, I had this question a while ago too, when I used to work in computers, we worked with a lot of police departments. And the police departments were kind of cool, and but they would always, have to, during a crime, they'd always have to interview a lot of different people, because one person would say, oh, the coat on the criminal was red, and the next person would say, no, it wasn't, it was blue. No, he was 6'4". No, he was 5'8". And so there was always a differing of opinion, and this is why, because your brain processes that differently. So I got curious, and I said, what is the probability? And I went to a mathematician, and this is what he said. Here's the probability of two people actually having the same experience. It's 1 in 0.087901447275 e to the 616th power. Whew, that's a big number. I don't even know how big that number is. But suffice it to say that it's almost impossible for us to have the exact same experience. So the number one thing that you can do to disarm anybody, and this is a persuasion technique as well, the number one thing that you can do is use these 2 words in front of a sentence. When you're trying to communicate with someone or trying to get someone to do something, is bailout, is this: you're right. This, in my opinion, are the 2 most important words in the English language. You're right. Even if you have a difference of opinion, because if you remember what I just said, they can't be wrong. Their experience is different than yours. So they're absolutely right. So the key process of communication and the key process of working with other people is not about one person being right or not. It's about developing systems so that you can get the right result. Again, forget about going to the how. How we're going to get there is where you get mucked up in communication. What are we trying to do is always the bigger question. Okay. Now, no one can do it like I can. Well, I just started talking about, creating those systems to free up your time. What is your time worth? I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. If you were to sell your time, what would you sell it for? $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $2,000? What is your time worth? Your time is worth something. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business and you're working to get results, you are the most important person in your entire business because it's up to you to get those results. So what is your time worth? I had a client recently, a coaching client, who had come to me. She runs a very, very successful chapter of the eWomen Network in Tampa, Florida. And she's awesome, and she's growing, and she's at that place where she's making money and she's working really, really hard. And so she had this huge to-do list, and she brought it to me, and we said, okay, why are you doing these things? She says, well, it's just, and she listed off all these excuses, why she cleans her own toilet, why she should be doing the administrative work, what's the crap, all crap. So I said to her this, what do you charge for your time? She said, $250 an hour. I said, okay, great. Now, let's go hire an administrative assistant for you at $250 an hour. And she said, well, I wouldn't pay $250. Are you kidding for that? I said, of course not. But the thing is you're spending your time, but you won't pay for it. So why would you take $250 an hour out of your own pocket to do work that's not appropriate for you? She said, well, they can't get it done like I want it done. Well, that's why you build systems. Now, where do you start with systems? The first thing that you do is you start with the easy stuff. Just sit down, write out a list of all the crap that you do all week long. It's cleaning out the toilets, or, doing the housework or doing the yard work. And I want it all. Administrative work, I want all your emails, your marketing, your promotion, everything. Write it all down on a list. The next thing is you start documenting. Now, you don't even have to do this yourself, but you start documenting how these processes get done. Now, I remember clearly the first time that this happened for me was I was in the middle of a large project where they were paying me, and the kind of work that I used to do, it wasn't uncommon where I'd get paid 5 figures in an afternoon. And I was working on one such project when somebody came into my office and said, hey, how do we make coffee? And I got up from my desk. Can you believe that? I got up from my desk and I said, well, let me show you. And I started walking in, and I got all the way into the kitchen, and I thought, oh my God, I was making money and now I'm making coffee. There's a problem with this. And I kind of got a little mad because I just got distracted from my what I was doing, but I allowed myself to be that. And I got out a piece of paper and I said, here, write this down. Here's how we make coffee. And I said, and you put in the 2 scoops, and you do you put in the water, and you push this button, and you do this, and here's how we do it. And I said, write this down, put it on the inside of the cupboard, and don't ever ask me again how to make coffee. And it became a series now that we help, and this is one of the things that we do, is we help people to create those systems, those outcomes that they want, and so that you can free yourself up. Because without having things written down, the conversation when you hire your first person or your second or your 10th or wherever you're at, when you start hiring people to do the work for you, if you don't know the outcome, you'll sit down with them and you'll say, okay, well, what I want you to do is I want you to go through all my email. And they're completely lost about, well, what does that mean? And then you get completely lost because you start working with the how, not the what. So I'll give you another example. When I hired my assistant to go through, that goes through my mail and my voicemail, here's what I did. At a higher level, I said, okay, we get 3 categories of email. We get newsletters, we get requests from the outside, like speaking requests and things like that, and we get communication from our clients. then once we knew, okay, here are the 3 categories, what do we want to have happen with each one of these? We were able to now write a process. Here's what we do with client communications. Here's what we do with speaking, and so on. So that's just a little bit about getting started with your systems. Okay. As I'm fond of saying, there are no stupid people, only stupid systems. So, if there's any blame or frustration, when the system goes bad, we tend to blame each other and get all pissed off and say, oh, this person's so stupid. That's not true. The people are not stupid. You're not stupid. I'm not stupid. But we do some stupid systems, don't we? Okay. The next thing is that there are no good people out there. Again, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a successful person, you've got to take that responsibility for the choices that you're making. There are good people out there. What happens is our hiring system usually is the wrong thing to hire people. So what will happen is if you're the kind of person who wants to hire a person that says, okay, I've got administrative things on my list, and I've got sales and marketing help that I need and some production help. Okay, where can I get a person that can do all that? That's the absolute wrong way to approach it. You've got to match the right person with the right task. Remember sitting on the floor filing? Yeah, it's not. There are certain people, a sales job is totally different from an administrative job. So stop trying to find one person. It's so easy to hire people right now that can do just little bits of work in a virtual assistant type of a way. Okay, so getting the right people, because people manage and work all of your systems. Now, let's talk about the 4 different types of people, and just really briefly here, I just want to give you kind of an overview. There are 4 types of people, and how they experience the world is very different. There's strategic, what I call strategic people. These are the go get it done, get out of my way kind of people. Then there are the detailed or task-oriented people. These are the people who want things done right. Very analytical, very quality-minded people. So the strategic people are get it done. The detailed people are get it done right. The next type of a person is a supportive person. Now, the supportive people are very, very reliable. They care so much about other people that they'll bend over backwards until they're sick trying to help other people, maybe getting results and maybe not. So the supportive people want to get things done without hurting anybody's feelings. And the idea people, well, I lost you guys a long time ago, you creative people on the line here. These are the people that are creative, that are intuitive, that say, oh my gosh, let's just forget about getting anything done, let's go out for a beer. So you need all of these people on the line, you need all of these people in your organization. And the key component here is matching people. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're hiring is they hire people just like themselves. So you say, oh, this is great, we should go into business together, we think alike, we do things alike. It's a really bad idea. I call it the potty principle, and for ladies, you'll get this. Just because we go to potty together doesn't mean we should go into business together. And so you've got to mix different people. So if you put a bunch of idea people in a room, you're going to get great ideas, but you're going to get no work done. So if you put an idea person with a strategic person, you're going to get a bunch of ideas, and then the strategic person is going to say, okay, let's get a strategy and a plan, let's get going. You mix your supportive people with your quality people. This is just one way to do it. But the key is to mix things up so that you can get the things done that you need to get done. Success blocker number 8 is I might make a mistake and look stupid. Well, the thing is we all look stupid sometimes. This is a blooper reel, and again, my video's not working or my slides aren't working for some reason. So you can, if you want to see this particular blooper reel, this was I was literally trying to do a 30-second spot, and it took me almost 20 minutes to get the thing right, which I never quite did, but I couldn't stop laughing. The dog jumped in I was doing this in the backyard, the dog jumped in the pool. The point is that, if you want to see this, you can see it out on YouTube. Just go and search for Stephanie Frank, and you'll look at it. It's a 3-minute video. And I used to be really afraid of what might happen that might make me look stupid. And as a speaker, one of the biggest fears that I had was falling off the stage or saying something dumb or or getting caught in a kind of a weird situation. Well, now that I've fallen off the stage twice, I have gotten caught fully mic'd before using the bathroom right before I go on where the entire audience of 250 people heard me. Now that I've been caught on all those things, I realize that the fear of looking stupid actually causes you to do the things that you're afraid of. Yes, that's true. So to do those things that you're actually afraid of. So the thing is, again, if you let your ego get in the way, successful people never let their ego get in the way because it blocks you from becoming the successful person that I know you want to be. So basically, you can have a mess in your life, and you can have all kinds of activities, and you can have all kinds of disparate sort of pieces, or you can have systems that help you create the success that you deserve. Now, I've been working with internet marketers quite a while behind the scenes. Most people don't know that. Fast-growing internet marketers come to me to help with their time management issues, with working with other people, their effectiveness, their employee effectiveness, communication, and just how to get more done, really. And Russell Brunson came to me a while ago, actually, and I gave him one little tip on how to manage his time. And he called me back the next day and he said, oh my gosh, he said, with that one tip, in 17 minutes, I got done a project that brought me in a six-figure income. Now, how many of you would like to take 17 minutes and get a six-figure income? That's pretty darn cool. A lot of other things that have happened I want to share with you, because when you have the right system, and a lot of times you're just doing one little thing that's not quite right, that's not getting you the results that you want. And it's all about the results, isn't it, that you want. So one change in this woman's system, I changed up her selling system, actually, and she created an extra $5,000 per deal. She was doing she was in mortgage, and that kind of changed recently, but she was able to get $5,000 more. Now, this woman, Karen Morrison, was awesome. She was having a really horrible time making a big decision, and it was almost $1 million decision. And she was about to go down the wrong path, and I knew it. And so I gave her a system for decision making so that she could make the right decision every single time. And when she used that system, she realized that the decision she was about to make was going to cost her $950,000, and she was really going to regret it. So she saved that $950,000 using a 5-minute system. This is another company, a bigger company that I've been working with, and this company, thank you for putting the blooper up there. This particular company, they came to me with, they're very fast growing, and we worked with their people and their leaders, and they grew so far from 5 million to 15 million. So that's a big jump. The thing I'm most excited about, though, is this system. This particular system, this is a sales manager, and he called me up and he said, I really want to motivate some people. And I said, you can't motivate people. They have to motivate themselves, but you can inspire people. And I gave him a system of loving his people. And I know this sounds really foo-foo, but the thing is when you're emotionally connected to something, you get inspired and you get moving and you get going. And so I gave him a system to really ask his people, and it basically went like this. What's important to you about getting this job done? And what happened was he found out that what's actually important to his people was not what he was sharing with them. He was saying, come on, let's go make a bunch more money. And what was important to them was helping more people. So he turned around and he said, okay, you guys, let's go help some more people today. And what happened is, as you can see, they had a 40% increase in sales. So imagine what it would mean to you if you had a tweak in your system and you could become just even 1% more productive. You could put more money in your pocket because you're more productive. You could be out of that overwhelm and out of stuff and just out of all of the frustration of life. That's my goal for you, and systems are the answer to that. Now, if you're interested in systems and building those systems, I want to invite you to our Peak Performance Intensive, which is a transformational workshop that we do. It's going to be held April 23rd through the 26th, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona. And this is a workshop. It's one-on-one just with me. And it's you come in on the 23rd, which is a Thursday, We have a nice little reception for you, and everybody gets, you get to meet everybody and so on. And then we get to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is work on your business time. This is not seminar, learn stuff, and then try to go home and implement it. You walk out at the end with your goal in hand, with your plan in hand of exactly what you're going to accomplish and how you're going to accomplish it as you walk out on Sunday afternoon. And we go through, as we go through the seminar itself, the components of it, it's called the FAST formula. And so we go through, FAST stands for focus. We're going to get you focused. We're going to find out what's draining all your energy. What's the problem? Where are your holdbacks? And how are we going to overcome them right now? Not 3 months from now, but right now. Then we get into action. What's going on with your time, with your calendar? How can you really, really start to protect your time? And I'll teach you my whole proprietary time mastery system for creative people that I've developed over the years, because nothing ever worked for me in terms of all the different time management systems. And so I'll develop a system for you that always works, that's really easy to implement and really easy to maintain. The next thing is we're going to start developing some systems in your business. What's out of whack right now, and what can we bring in to your business that's a system that you can literally hand off to someone else and start that process of, or continue the process no matter where you are, of getting more productive. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about teams, how to hire your first person or your next person, how to get your team aligned, who's working for you that's well, who's not, what do you need, and we're going to talk all about that and how to delegate properly so that you can really raise up your standards and become that leader so that you can make the money that you want, you can take the vacations, and you can have other people do the work. So that's the Quick Start Peak Performance Intensive. And so some of the other things that you're going to learn, so these are some of the systems that you're going to walk away with, is how to make the right decision every time, completely how to get to the bottom of your to-do list, making every conversation positive. You know those difficult conversations? They don't have to be so difficult. You can make them real easy. I want to share with you how to have boundless energy so that you can live life happy, get laser focused with everything that you do, and stay distraction free. No matter how ADD you are, if I can do it, I have a system that you can do it. I guarantee it. So you get in this seminar, you get the 3 workshop days. I'm also going to give you our study courses. What you're going to get is the Success IQ formula, which is our 12 and 13 traits program, so that you can listen to that over and over and over and put those systems there in place. It's a nice, easy to listen to CD that will keep you more productive and more effective. You're also going to get, we have a program called the Shortcuts program, and these are little systems that are super, super easy to implement for time mastery and also for successful delegation. So I'm going to give you those as well. And, oh, there we go. I guess I got those in there. So you're going to get those programs, and you're going to take those home. And I'm known to give out other kinds of systems, too, on a whim. So you'll probably also get a copy of my Solving the Marketing Mystery, which is how to choose a strategy for your marketing success. If anybody's frustrated right now out there, like I used to be, when I first got into the internet, and I don't call myself an internet marketer, I'm a organizational development specialist, but I'll tell you, I got into internet marketing because I wanted to come in out of the cold, so to speak, as a speaker. And I wanted to learn these things. And I fell into I bought up all this stuff, and I was trying to figure out, okay, do I SEO, do I blog, do I newsletter, do I this, do I that, do I tweet, and I realized very quickly, being a systems person, that I'm going about this the wrong way. And so I developed this program to break down. There are only 6 strategies, and there are only 3 results that you can actually get on the internet. How you get there and the things that you do on the internet have to be aligned with those results in order to be effective. So you'll get that program as well. And this is a video. This is Kevin Hewitt. Sorry I can't play this for you either, but this is a video, and this is Kevin in that fast-growing company, that $5 to $15 million company. He's a VP there. And he came to Quick Start, and he was a mess. He had gained weight. He was frustrated, but he couldn't talk about it at work or with his people. That's why he came to Quick Start, because it's a problem that is common with a fast-growing company, is that you're embarrassed about what's going on, you think you should be able to handle it all, and yet you've never been equipped to handle it all. And that's kind of where he was. So he came in, and I taught him about systems, and it was like a light bulb went on, because what he was doing prior to that was he was answering everybody's question. So somebody would come in and, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we? Number one mistake if you're going to grow your business is to answer people's questions. So we've helped him build systems so that he wouldn't have to do that anymore. And as you can see, he says systems will save his life. And I really believe that systems will save his life, because his health was deteriorating. Okay, I'm also going to give you a planning session prior to the event. So if you're the kind of person who really wants to get the most out of the 3 days of our working together, or you want to kind of set your goal ahead of time, or you want to just chat about what your experience is going to be, we give that to you. You talk one-on-one with me so that you're really, really prepared for success. Because I want you to achieve. I don't want you to just come, show up, and go away and go, yeah, that was kind of cool. No, you got to do this stuff. Of course, you're going to get the quick start guide. But for Ross's people, for you guys right here, I'm going to, now, you got to understand here. I'm going to give you 3 free strategy sessions, okay? Now, I charge $1,500 a piece for these things. So I wanted to make this so palpable for you and just so achievable for you. But I know also that, you might have some personal questions that you kind of want to talk to me about separately, or that you want to work through, or a private situation that you just don't want to talk about in the workshop. So I'm going to give you these 3 strategy sessions, and you just schedule them with my office, and they don't expire, so you can use them right away, or you can use them down the road. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to give you those 3 strategy sessions. So all together, the 3-day workshop, my time, the entire, all the workshop materials, the programs, the products, the strategy sessions, the planning session, of course, if I were to sell it separately, but I don't, would be over $11,000. And we used to charge a lot more, actually, for this seminar. However, the workshop is, for you, it's $14.97, and you get all the things I just talked about, plus you're going to learn the systems that are going to save your life. Now, I realize that $14.97 may be a stretch for you, and so 2 things I want you to think about. Number 1 is we gave you a payment plan, so you can finance it for as low as $299 a month if you want. And I think that that's a really, really fair deal, because think about this for a minute. $300 a month. If you were to put focus time on your calendar, and then you were to actually do the marketing and the selling and the things that bring you in money, and you were to pay someone $300 a month to make, to get things off your plate, how easy would it be for you to make $600, $900, $1,200? To double, quadruple, or 100 times, 3,000, 100 times that money. If you were to put 3,000 bucks in your pocket, if you were just able to know the system that gets that done, that gets that accomplished. New ways of being, you guys, requires new ways of acting. You're crossing the line now. So you're either going to cross the line, or you're going to stay stuck where you are. The thing is, the choice is yours. It always will be. So if you want to join me in this seminar, again, it's April 23rd through the 26th. The link is right down here, masterseminar.com/success. And I am just overjoyed having been able to be here with you today, having been able to share with you today. I hope you got something out of this presentation, and more importantly, I hope that you'll put what you learned to use. Because the world absolutely needs more of you, your energy, and what you have to offer. You're not living your purpose, sitting behind your computer and not sharing your gifts with the world. So I do hope that I get to help you do that, and I do hope that our paths cross again really soon. Thanks so much. Okay, I don't know, Ross, are you going to take it back, or? You're welcome, everybody. Thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Well, you guys are all inspiring to me, too. You're all inspiring to me. I want to see every single one of you be the successful person that I know is in you. The Solving the Marketing Mystery is a home study course that you get when you attend the Quick Start. It's not available on Amazon. Am I going to be in the Bay Area this year? I don't know, actually, if I've got anything scheduled for that right now. Yes, I'm glad you're thinking about the what. The what is the most important part. Forget about the how. How doesn't matter. There are a million hows. If y'all have any questions, I think I'm still on, unless Ross is going to take it back. I'm not sure. But I'm happy to answer questions. Oh, okay, great. Can't attend the live workshop. Can I just get the home study course? Yes, you can do that. You can get that at my website at stephaniefrank.com. Yes, I am, at Stephanie Frank on Twitter. Having a lot of fun out there on Twitter, too, you guys. That is a great, great tool. That's how I met Ross. Out there in Tweetland. I have a couple more minutes. So if you got any questions about how to grow your business, how to put systems in your business, how to be more productive, more effective, ask them now before I go. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mark, I've been a little overwhelmed with some of the details on that, but are systems my strength? Systems is my life, girl. Your whole life is a series of systems. And I agree with you, Brenda. Everybody needs help with systems in their business and in their life. I need a system for my dog. What do you need a system for your dog to get your dogs to do? What outcome do you want? How to get productive as soon as you get up in the morning? Yes. Take a shower immediately. Get yourself moving. I know that sounds really goofy, but that's step one. Get a shower so that you're always, your morning routine has to include getting up and acting as though you're going to work. So if you work at home, like I think a lot of you probably do, the tendency and a major problem with entrepreneurs is that they get up, they're like, oh, well, maybe I'll get something, maybe I won't. You need to set work hours, get up, get it done. I don't care what your work hours are, but act like you're going to work. Get dressed, get up. Okay. The dogs refuse. You know, I keep telling my Yorkie to get a job, and she just won't get one either. I put the paper down for her every day, say, here, take a look. You know, you could make money with your dogs. You could send them off to a modeling. They have doggy modeling agencies. You could get them a job. Of course, you'd have to drive them, but I make sure I sit in front of the computer to start doing stuff even before my eyes are open. Nope, that is not going to be productive for you, girlfriend. You sit in the computer. When you sit in the computer to do stuff, all you're doing is wasting time. You sit in a computer specifically for a particular purpose. You have to know what you're doing. you know, I have a little trick that I use. I don't like sitting at the computer actually that much and dealing with email and so on. I get up in the morning and I look at my email. I deal with my email before I go to the bathroom. That gets it done very, very quickly. Now, I luckily don't have that much email that I have to deal with. So very few emails come through. And it's all from my staff. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, the how versus the what. It is a life-shifting concept. So good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, guys. I've got 1 more minute. So if you've got a question, ask it now, and then I'm going to be heading out. I want to thank Ross again too, while some people are typing here. I just want to thank you, Ross, for all that you do and all that you're. But man, this has been just a wonderful, amazing seminar, and congratulations to you for putting it on. Do I come east? Where would we find your schedule? I do not publish my schedule, and the reason I don't is very often I'll have an event that comes up and I'll link something else to it at the last minute so that I have multiple, so that I have leverage around my events. I do come east. I know I've got something coming up in Alabama and Dallas and I think Orlando coming up. Not sure about west though. How do you implement systems when you have a very creative business partner? Well, it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're creative or not. You've got to agree on the outcome that you want first. So if you walk in and you say, okay, here's going to be a system for this, your creative business partner is going to back up and say, oh, I don't want that. But if you talk to them in terms of outcomes, so what's the biggest problem that your creative business partner is having right now? That's the system you need to create. And that will get them engaged as well. Okay, yeah, the channel is Success IQ. How do I track the results that I delegate? Well, delegation is simple. Either you get it's a yes or no process. Either you get the results or you don't. So delegation, I can speak to this for a moment. The delegation, most people go about it really, really wrong. They sit somebody down and they say, okay, here's how I want you to do something. Wrong. I learned this the hard way when I hired my first assistant and I showed her how to use the fax machine. I don't know why I showed her. I didn't know how to use the fax machine and I was always sending like blank papers. So I taught her how to send blank paper through the fax machine. So you've got to, just like everything with delegation, it's the what. What do you want? And let somebody else go figure it out. Let somebody else figure out how to do it. You need to know the what. So with delegation, at the end of the day, it's either done or it isn't. That's it. That's it. Okay, guys. Well, I thank you so much for coming and being here and for staying on. And you're welcome. I'm happy to share my knowledge. I do hope that I'll get to see you in person, all of you, very soon, and so that we can start building your systems for success. All right, guys. Enjoy. I know you got some great presentations coming up today, and I'll be probably lurking in the background listening as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.